All right, you are on the platform, and I guess, well, geez, Andrea Vance would be proud of him, wouldn't she, of Donald Trump this morning? Because, believe it or not, he's dropped the F-bomb. He was about to jump in the helicopter, presumably to go to Air Force One to fly to Holland for the NATO meeting that he's attending, and old face on a thumb, Luxon is just tagging along as an observer. But Trump frustrated that despite his announcement of the rapid end of World War III yesterday, after just 12 days, and a ceasefire, he did say it'd take a bit of while because actually to fire a missile or to launch an airstrike on another country 1,000 miles away takes a little bit of planning, and once you've pushed the go button, it's a little bit hard to wrap it back. So essentially, he has brokered a peace deal. Geez, Glenn McConnell from the Post will be upset because I thought the world was on fire, Glenn. And so did the rest of the lefty nutters around the world say, this is terrible, we hate Donald Trump, it's all his fault, Israel's evil, blah, blah, blah. And what do you know, World War III didn't quite happen, as maybe I suggested when all this kicked off. But it took a bit longer, and it's still sort of uncertain in this world of massive and instant communication. It takes a while for things to settle down. So Trump was clearly frustrated, and he said they have been fighting each other for so long, they do not know what the F they are doing. And look, I was going to download it and play the clip to you. I don't think it's necessary for matters of good taste. But yes, the F word. So the Prime Minister literally drops the F-bomb in frustration at the amount of time it took for the ceasefire that he brokered to come into effect. But it would appear, and I'd say would appear on the reports I have been reading, that there is a ceasefire, though the war of words and, they did this and they did that, that continues between Israel and Iran. What I can tell you is oil prices and oil futures have dropped. Price of gold's dropped, been a surge in the share market. So all those things we were discussing yesterday, and I'm not going to say I told you so, but I did say maybe we had to breathe through our noses and watch what came out. And I have to say this. Congratulations, President Trump. I mean, it may not be the regular way to do diplomacy. But he seems to have an understanding of realpolitik that leaves the career shiny-assed diplomats at the UN and all the national, international conventions and all our people sitting, clutching their pearls at Foreign Affairs in Wellington. He seems to leave them somewhat in the dust. And okay, we have to take that he drops the odd F-bomb in frustration. But I would say this might be one of Trump's finest hours. Of course, you'll blame him when they start, and inevitably these countries will start firing things at each other again. There isn't a permanent solution here. But credit where credit is due, and I wonder if Helen Clark and all the rest of the wimps who hate Trump so much just on an ideological basis, maybe they should just shut the F up next time, because they don't know what the F they were on about either, and I think our mainstream media didn't know what the F they were on about. Some of you might also put our friend Robert Patman, Professor Robert Patman. No, I think this is actually, Robert always says, Trump, you just don't know, you've got to wait and see. Well, we did, and he made peace. Even if Israel and Iran don't know what the F they're doing. So, look, I'm interested in your thoughts on that. Don't need to fill up the tank with gas. We talked about that yesterday. All these things are not going to come to pass, and World War III is not going to come to pass. And an indication, too, I think, in a global sense of how easy it is in this world of social media and polarised political views and very poor journalism, incredibly poor mainstream journalism. It is very easy to scare the bejesus out of ourselves.